So here's the deal. So let's change the color. Okay. So primary is looking here. Okay? And you see the arrow. I'm really just trying to draw the arrow on the right side here. This is the line. There's no point in finding here. This is not a find. Because the water is not just pushing down, but it pushes very slightly towards the center. So you have to see a line. Looking here is bad. So he sees this line here. This is an opening. And he knows our Rangers is going to be moving and trying to make it not work. But this is the line he sees. So now let's turn it on again. So primary sees there. That's the gap we saw before. Now look at that. And see, this is really cool here. Really cool here. Because before, we're seeing this line here, where primary sees outside on the right side of the O'Rangers. But see how Rangers starts to move back in? Immediately primary moves out. This is a very good maneuver. This is very smart racing. I don't know why they can't do this in Marbula 1. Look at this now. This is like a few frames, a few marble, like a second after the previous picture I just put. Right? Primary then is, O'Rangers went from here to here. Basically, you see this arrow? They went laterally, and they kept about the same distance. So now primary sees here. You see this? This is the line now. Because there is no over here anymore. Because if primary was still here, and O'Rangers now move this way, primary is not going to see, there's nothing to do here. So primary gets lodged behind O'Rangers. Do you see that? So,
yeah, I see it.
So before, but like in the last picture, primary was over here, O'Rangers were over here, and we saw this line. But then O'Rangers shifted, and as they shifted right, as they shifted this way, primary came then this way and saw this line. That's really, really smart racing. So look at this now. So we're doing that. So primary sees us outside. And look at this again. Do you see how Rangers is jumping back to the middle? This is an anticipation move over here. And I know we're doing some really deep analysis here. That's why you got to take a break and do the Chrome for this, because you're not going to get this if you're not watching with me. Look at this right here. So this is an anticipation move. It's a little early. So Rangers were here before, and now they're over here. And they're back to the middle. So primary is expecting, following the pattern. It's like he's following a slalom type pattern. So he's here, and then he goes back. He's like, O'Rangers is probably zigzagging again, because O'Rangers are going to be aware of this happening and be putting on any defensive move to keep the lines closed. Because O'Rangers are looking for a win. The primary is making an anticipatory move, expecting that O'Rangers are going to go from where they are in the middle here back. And see, like, look, and they were right. They were right. And that's just so cool. That's just so cool to see that. Because they saw it, and they look, now this line's open. Look at how open it is, Waff. This whole thing is open right here. O'Rangers are hugging the wall. Anticipatory move, well done. Okay? And then we play it again. And then we're really getting towards the end here. And so the camera cuts away here. But right before the camera cuts away, you can see that the O'Rangers were still lodged on the left and primary was on the right. The reason I think movement stopped there is because of this formation right here where the marbles drop a little bit. So O'Rangers were getting ready to deal with that formation. They took a left line. Primary took a right line. We're not going to see too much useful information here, but you can see O'Rangers are going to come down here on the near side, primary on the far side, still looking for that line. Primary, okay, look at this here too. You want to see this. O'Rangers were here. Look where I'm drawing in the top right here. O'Rangers bounced and came up on the ledge here. You see that, Waff? Very good.
Yeah, I see it.
Primary was here on the right. Primary sees O'Rangers come down on the ledge, so they come back to center. Why do they come back to center? If you're over here, if primary comes down the right side is over here, and O'Rangers are on the ledge here, okay? Well, then when the O'Rangers come back, because look at this wood piece, they're going to come back into the center area, or at least on the side, then primary has less of an ability to find the space. O'Rangers are either going to come back on the near side or fly all the way to the far side here. And so if primary takes center, then they can move very quickly to find that open line. So that's what they do, to come back to center when O'Rangers fly on the ledge here, which is very interesting. Okay, so then we'll keep playing it. We get a loss of camera view. We see the pinkies kind of moving and whatever. So when we get back to it, primary's caught up a little bit. So see, that's kind of a case in point situation. I'm going to go to another picture because look, if you see here, you're getting O'Rangers were on the ledge here kind of thing. They were back here, but like they were on this side of the ledge. And when they hit that wood piece and came back, they went all the way across. So now they're over here. So primary, if they were here, they have to go all the way over here. But they went back to center down the ledge, down that like drop. So now it's just very easy to find this line.
Mm-hmm.
So now look at the separation. Primary has a line, O'Rangers has a line. So it's close in that regard. Look at how it goes. Primary, it has the line and sees very early, and this is incredible that there's so much race awareness. I mean, this is incredible racing. Look at O'Rangers. Right here they were before. Now look at them. Diagonal. And primary sees that and immediately goes from here across. Look at how quickly. Look at the O'Rangers' distance from the wall, and then look at the primaries. And back here they were both on the respective walls. Look at how quickly primary read the front movement and moved back across to find open lines. He's always ready for an open line. I actually really have a new respect for team primary here. So O'Rangers obviously still very aware for that. Who?
Rima is the racer specifically.
I don't give a shit.
Okay. I have more respect, but I don't care enough to know the individual
Rima. Wait, awesome. But team primary in general, whoever they put out there, well done racing. So I mean, they took an anticipatory line back this way. O'Rangers came off the wall, but not as far as they thought, and now a primary is guessing here, and you see you have to see this because you have to be aware of the scope of the land here. So primary this is a guess at this point because they see O'Rangers come back towards center and they guess this way because now O'Rangers is basically in center. Look at this line. Rangers is basically in the center of the course. So this movement to the right is a guess. The reason they're guessing instead of saying center is because we're almost at the finish line. So they have to guess a line and go for it. So they guess right. They guess over here. They're trying to read a Ranger still because they still got a little time, but this is a guess. They're anticipating. This could be a mistake. And I think the reason they lose is because they make a mistake here. I think they needed to stay middle here and still wait it out. Let's see what happens again. So O'Rangers, and see this is hard for Rima at this point because look at now what happened, and you just saw it on the video. This from here to here is bouncing. O'Rangers are getting airtime here off whatever rocks are underneath the water, and so primary they guess here, and then there's all this bouncing that's confusing them. They're back over here now. They literally zigzagged this way. O'Rangers zigzagged across from back here and then here. So it's a guessing, and they're trying to guess. They're trying to stay behind the Rangers and find the lines and guess where they're going next. And so it looks like they're looking for their inner lines, but they're really looking for open space that's going to be coming down a few lengths later. A Rangers bounces in, so now this is a mistake. Do you see why this is a mistake, Waff, here?
Yeah, I totally get and I can't blame him. It's like you see that balance, like you think, okay, they've lost all control. I now can take the lead. But the Rangers, like they know how to recover pretty well. Well,
here's the thing, and this is masterful Rangers racing. They're a good team. The problem was that primary saw here, then saw back over here, and wanted to hit this line right here on the inside. The reason they came back this way is because O'Rangers were center. They bounced this way. They look at the bounces lines I'm drawing. They're bouncing this way, and they bounce back over here. And so when they bounce this way, primary in their head is seeing, they're having this uncontrollable movement back this way. I better go this way. But they didn't account for the fact that the bounces did have some control. So Rangers bounced this way and then bounced back, stayed in the inner line. They were able to direct their bouncing. So primaries now, look at this. You can't find a line here. So it was a mistake. But not really a mistake that you really condemn them for because that's very hard to see. So what happens here? That's a collision. But look, primaries here sees a right line. O'Rangers here, look. Bouncing. We're bouncing here. Look at the O'Rangers cut back towards the middle. Primary is now seeing this line. They're reading immediately. And O'Rangers then bounces back on the inside line. Primary now has to redirect back outside here. I won't even draw the line. Just look back to the right. Back this way. Primary is redirecting back outside from where they are. They're on the one side. They need to the other side. But they can't. They can't do it quick enough. And so look, they're trying. They're trying here. Look at this. They're trying to get back out there. They're trying. They see it and they're trying to go this way. They're trying to hit this line, but they can't. They can't get there because the currents are hard here, and the undersurface is very difficult. O'Rangers is just enough off the wall that this collision is going to happen. And so that's all the O'rangers needed to win, because what happens is like that collision happens and a primary uses it. And this is smart too. They try to use the collision to go back outside. They hit O'rangers here to go this way, but you lose momentum when you collide. And so O'rangers see that, they find the outside again, and then it's just, it really is just grasping at straws after that, because you come here, did I go too far back? No, okay. They have the collision, and so primary looks outside, and then you can kind of see what happens here. So you see we go outside this way, primary's this way. O'rangers obviously in control now, because when you get collided from behind, you're given some momentum and you can usually gain some control from that. You think you lose control. I think usually you gain some control when you have that forward motion. So then O'rangers are here. They have the forward motion. They see this, because when you collided from behind, you can feel that. O'rangers feels that it's on the right side, so they know they go this way. So then O'rangers are this way. Primary is this way. It's more contact. Primary is close to the end. They have to do anything they can, so they try a very unfortunate, this is not usually the kind of move you want to do, but what they had to do, they tried to just curl. O'rangers are right here. They tried to curl right off the O'rangers on the side, and you can't do that. Because when you do that, when you curl right off the side, the O'rangers, all they have to do is move this way, and there's an immediate block. When you have a line, this is a lane I'm drawing on the right side, and you have a marble here, you don't, and you're here. If you're here as a different, I'll even draw it in a different color so you get this. So let's draw here. If this is you and this marble is in front of you, if you want to go this way, read early and pass, because you don't want them to know where you are. Because until this point right here, this marble has no idea you're over here, and really that you're even committing to this line. And they're just trying to block you. If you're here, if you go here first and then try to curl, when you're here, especially if you collide, all this marble knows is that the only open way is this way. So they know all you need. If they feel a collision, or if they feel that you've moved at all from where you were, the only thing they need to do is know to block to the left. Does that make sense? They only have to block totally. Left. When you're here and you're going out to the middle and then you don't commit till here, they can't read that finally yet. Because if you're in the middle and they block left immediately, you can just cut back because you have middle line. And so it was a last gasp attempt. You see O'rangers kind of get a little length out here, and a primary tries to see it. You're curling literally from right here, and O'rangers are right here. You're trying to move this way. You can't do that. O'rangers obviously are right there. There's even a collision right here. So you're going to see that. O'rangers see that and cut off. And they almost miss it because there's the only other dynamic here is the drafts of racing. So the water has all this movement. The current of the water has different speeds in different locations. So we're moving this way. The water's pushing this way, and you might have a sideways current here. So you're seeing that the primary almost gets around here, and like if you want to look at it over here on the right side of here, so you have O'rangers here, and primary gets literally in front by a little bit, but O'rangers members has a straight line cut. All the primary's momentum is this way, and then they need to reorient it, curl it back up forward. O'rangers already have forward momentum and just need to direct it a little bit left. So O'rangers, even though it looked like they were behind for a millisecond, easy cut to the left. Even if you get lateral push, primary's momentum is very sideways. So it's going to be very hard to redirect that forward even with the slightest push. So primary, obviously curling out here to the left. O'rangers, look at that momentum on primary. It's very lateral. And then O'rangers are super straightforward. All they needed to do was a small push. Look at that. They even are able to find that line right in front. That's pretty free right there. Once you get right in front, you funnel towards the finish line. There's no coming back. Primary can only stay right behind. And you're too close. He's too close. He's too close at this point to have any chance. You have to be here and get outside. And earlier on in this race, when we started this analysis, you saw that primary saw early lines. That's why he was making movements so early, because he's just reading O'rangers and finding lines. But he got too close and ran out of time, and then he had to go for a last gasp curl. O'rangers, some marbles will make a mistake and not know how to block that. O'rangers obviously knows how to block that, and you see now they're bunched. When you're bunched, this is the worst. This is a big no. Actually, I'll draw that in a big red X. Look at this. This is a big no in marble sports racing. You do not want to be bunched with the marble in front of you. How do you get outside and in front? You can't. You can't get there. There's no look at the picture. Use your logic.
Well, like,
there's no way to go from here to here, or even to here.
Yeah, they are just a little too close. Like they were drafting, which does give you the momentum to get around. It's just I think maybe they were a bit too close to actually fully utilize that technique. Just a little too close.
We'll have to talk about drafting again when we get to Marbula 1, because I think in Marbula 1 context it can be different because some of the movements that happen with the turns. But this is a straight race. In straight
it's also water.
Yeah. Water I think changes it even more, but in a more straight downhill race, like even in Sand Rally, this kind of drafting is not recommended. Because when you're behind a marble literally touching it, even movement to get outside is going to put some momentum on this marble because it's going to push them forward as you're going outside. So then you're outside here and they're just forward. And you're outside here and they're just forward. And so when you're here, look at the finish line. There's no way for that happening. So there was a mistake there at the end, but nothing really they could do. They did a good job. And look, they're going to cross in the same fashion. And then, Orange, you got to hand it to the Rangers. I mean, that was a really good defensive racing. Absolutely wonderful. Honestly, I'm really happy that I caught that because that was a really fun little analysis to do. But it's really so key that you see lines early in, especially in water racing, straight down racing. And they did. Like, they were finding them, but I think some of the formation later on in the race surprised them because it was really hard. They had to bounce downhill. A Ranger started literally bouncing in the front. It was hard to read that. So yeah. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed that little in-depth I brought there for a second.